Hey guys, Cameron for Arrow, Season 4, Episode 21, Monument Point. I was really looking forward to this episode. I really enjoyed the last episode, and it really seemed like we were heading in a very intense direction. And yes, this was a very intense episode, but I don't know, something about this episode, I just wasn't feeling it, guys. I'm not gonna lie. There was a lot of stuff in this episode I really was not a fan of. I think a lot of this episode was quite underwhelming, and probably because it wasn't like a season finale, the way it seemed like last episode, it seemed like that was really gonna be like, setting up for the season finale, and now it seems like next week is really we're gonna start to do that. This episode was definitely more, I wouldn't say filler, but just it felt like an extra episode. It really did. I mean, this episode really just felt like we just need an extra episode till the it's kind of like the Flash. It just felt like we need an extra episode in there. And let's just get into this episode because I don't really have much to say about it. We'll just get into it. We see a missile attack warning center in Russia. Alarms go off. A technician informs the general in charge that the warheads are arming themselves. And at the bunker, Lila informs the team that Hive now controls every nuclear missile in the world. And they have just 21 hours before Darhk completes the startup sequence and begins launching missiles. So it's a very good setup. I really will say. I think it's very interesting that we saw that Darhk wants to do this. But Felicity admits that she can't hack the Rubicon algorithm, but her father Noah can. And she basically thinks that the best thing to do is to recruit Noah because Noah, of course, is a hacker. And we knew that Noah was going to come back into play eventually because we focused on him so much those two episodes. But Diggle points out that Noah is a criminal and they don't want to ally with a criminal. But Felicity figures it's the best chance they got. I mean, obviously, he's very good with computers and she's good with computers as well, but she's not a hacker, as we know. She's not really good at hacking while Noah is. And as she runs a check to locate her father, Oliver talks to Diggle privately, asks how he's doing. Diggle wonders how he trusts Noah. His friend figures that they can trust Felicity and warns that since Darhk's magic is fed by death, if one of the missiles goes off, then he'll be unstoppable because obviously the more death happens, the more powerful Darhk becomes. And it is very complicated, we'll say that, but I think it's really good the way they're handling that. They are really making us understand this. Oliver figures that Darhk will be in a Nexus chamber and that it's on a ley line and they only have 21 hours to find it. So they really have no time. They have to be really quick about this, and I thought that was definitely really interesting. I really like the way that this was headed. Like I said, really intense stuff there. I thought Diggle was kind of not underused, but like I did like that scene between him and Oliver, obviously because of what Diggle had to do. You do see that. But we see the guards watching Thea and Alex's condition when Malcolm comes in. And let me just say, this goes in a really strange direction. Just the way this went, I was not a huge fan of, I definitely will say. I think there was some good stuff here, especially stuff with Malcolm. I like where they're going with that. But what they do besides this, I thought was really bizarre, actually. She figures that he would show up, and Malcolm orders the guards out. Once they're alone, Malcolm says that he's working with Darhk to keep Thea safe, because we know that's been his main goal. He doesn't care about anyone else, he just cares about Thea, and he's going to make sure that she stays safe. And Thea wonders how brainwashing Alex will keep her safe, because clearly they have brainwashed him. And Malcolm says that it was Reveille's decision so that they wouldn't risk Genesis exposure, and Darhk plans to burn the world in nuclear flame, while he and his followers are safe in the dome, and Malcolm insists that the world is beyond saving and needs a reset. And that's exactly what they want to do. They want to reset the world because there's just too much crime, which I think is a good idea. It's kind of like Kingsman. If you guys have seen Kingsman, although Kingsman was they took out the weak from the strong, this is basically just kill everyone. They're going to kill everyone. They want to reset. And basically, he signed on with Darhk once he realized Darhk's success was inevitable. And Thea demands to see Alex and know that he's okay. Tells Malcolm that it's up to him whether she's compliant or rebellious. And after a moment, Malcolm gestures her out. And I like that he's trying to give her this choice, saying, look, I'm still on your side. I still want to side with you. And even though we're not on the same team, I still am on your side. That was really good. I really enjoyed that. And it really does show how Malcolm really is still that loyal father to Thea. He always will be. I don't think they'll ever lose that dynamic. It's something that Thea, I don't think, wants to have necessarily, but it's something that they'll never lose. I think they'll always be close in that way. I think, Malcolm really cares about her, and I think she really does understand that, whether she likes that or not. By far, though, the worst stuff in this episode involves Lance and Donna. This was just bad. I really was not a fan of this, I have to say. Basically, she admits that first of all, not only was this out of character for Lance, but it really just felt like a random subplot that was there because we need to give Lance something to do. Lance and Donna, we know they had that dynamic. She admits that she was snooping through his things and found an affidavit, and he explains that Pike told him that if he signs it, then he'll get his job back. And the affidavit says that Lance didn't know Laurel was Black Canary. Donna points out that the affidavit is a lie, and Lance says that he always wanted to be a cop, so it's worth a small lie. And just the fact that Lance is lying, he's lying about his own daughter being the Black Canary, just so he can be a cop, feels really shallow, and it doesn't seem like something that Lance would do. Lance does things to protect protect his kids. We know that. And he's been way too overprotective. And now that he doesn't have any daughters to protect, I mean, I don't really know what role he plays in this show. I definitely will say that. And it really seems like they're struggling to find out what to do with Lance now that Laurel's died. And I understand that, I really do, but this is not at all the direction taking him in. Was very sleazy of Lance to do. I think this was really out of character. And he says that he's not her ex Noah, and Dawn admits that she loves Lance because of that she knows that Lance will do the right thing. Which I don't really know. I mean, to me it just seemed really weird. So in the hive base, Darhk tells Brick and Murmur that he has an errand for them while Brick is back in this episode, and Brick objects to take orders, and Darhk reminds him that he'll be safe when the world is consumed in nuclear flame. He then brings up a photo of Calculator, and Green Arrow and Spartan then go to the building that Calculator is using. Following Felicity's directions, there's a CCTV. Felicity traces the signal, and it looks like Calculator left in a hurry, and Green Arrow plays the footage from 20 minutes ago. It shows Murmur and Brick arriving with Ghost, and Calculator leaves before they can find him, and on the footage, Brick tells his men to kill Calculator. So then we see Anarchy, surprisingly, Machin, that character that we haven't seen since, like, episode 11. He breaks into Tevet Noah, and Taylor's a guard, and he asks him where he can find Darhk, and this just seemed like it was out of place. I don't know why they did this, honestly. Anarchy was never a character that I really cared as much about. I cared about him in the second episode. That was really it. After he was betrayed by Darhk, I never really saw the point of him. I mean, episode 11, they tried to use him, but here, I was not a fan of it. I did not like his dynamic with Thea. I did not like what they did with him. Everything they did with him here, it just did not feel like they needed to do it. It just felt like they wanted to give closure to Anarchy's character. I never really cared for him that much, so I don't really know why he was back. It just really felt unnecessary. Oliver and Diggle return to the bunker. They figure that Darhk wanted Noah dead because he's the only one who can stop Rubicon, and obviously, Darhk wants to go ahead with Rubicon. He doesn't want anyone to stop it, and Felicity hacks her father's servers, finds a root directory called Ravenspur, and it sounds familiar to her, but she doesn't know why, and her algorithm has tracked down a possible base for Darhk, and her teammates head out. And Donna then tells Lance that Felicity called and is going to meet her daughter, and Lance is ready to sign the affidavit, but has Donna read it first. She discovers that he has rewritten it to say that he knew Laura was Black Canary, and Donna says that she's proud of him, and Laura will be too, and he's doing the right thing. So that's the end of this. There really isn't much more to it, and it just, again, it really felt out of place. I don't know why we had this. I don't know why they include this here. It just felt really like they're just trying to struggle with finding what they want Lance to do. And I really don't know if Lance is even going to play a role next season, because he doesn't really have anything to do on this show anymore. His plot was to protect his daughters, to protect Sarah and to protect Laurel. And now that Laurel's gone, Sarah's off of Legends tomorrow, there really is no role for Lance. And I wouldn't be surprised if Lance end this season leaving Star City. I think that'd be the best thing to do. Leave with Donna, have them go on like a vacation or something, because Lance, I just don't know if he really plays a role in the show anymore. It just isn't really doing it for me anymore. Not to say the actor's bad. I think the actor's really good. And I think the scene, the episode where Lance was really dealing with Laurel's death was really great, but I just don't really know what they're trying to do with him now, because it really just seems like they're struggling to find what to do. So Felicity returns to her office at Palmer Tech, and this is one of the most underwritten arcs I think we've had all season. I mean, in the very beginning of the season, it seemed like we were really going to focus on Felicity at Palmer Tech, and then ever since her fight with Oliver, we kind of been phasing out of it a little bit. Like, we haven't really been focusing on it as much as I wanted to. But I did get the point here. She finds Dennis waiting for her. He said he's been busying running her company, and Felicity says that what she has is far more important. Donna comes in, and Felicity tells Dennis that the board can wait, and as he goes, Dennis tells her that he hopes whatever else is going on is important. Once they're alone, Felicity asks what Donna knows about Ravenspur, and Donna says it's a cabin that she and Noah used to go to. Wonders that Felicity is getting involved with Noah again, and Felicity hugs her, says that with any luck, Donna will never find out why she's hugging her, and Oliver and Diggle then go to check out the location. Oliver says that Lila told him that Diggle claimed he shot Andy in self-defense, and Diggle says he couldn't tell his wife the truth because she'd look at him differently. And obviously that's not why. It was not because he just felt he needed to kill him. And he says, I will say that Andy emotionally threatened him. I mean, he didn't outright threaten him, but what he was saying, I'm pretty sure that Andy would have just killed his family anyway. So Diggle pretty much did do the right thing, and Oliver says that Diggle is hurting. He says Forrest's friend shouldn't make things worse by lying. Felicity calls and tells him about the cabin, and Oliver and Diggle head there. And I did like the scenes between Oliver and Diggle. I like the dynamic that they have. I like that Diggle's still dealing with this, because yeah, Lila told him specifically, do not kill Andy, and he did the exact opposite. But he did it for good reason, and I can totally understand why Diggle does not want to tell her. He doesn't want to feel like he betrayed betrayed her. He doesn't want to feel like he, went against her, because he didn't go against her. He did what he felt was right. The best thing to do was to kill Annie. There really was no other way to bring him to there really was no other way to bring him down, and that was the best way to do it. And I do like that we're still dealing with that. So really good stuff there. At Ravensburg, Noah's chopping wood when Brick and his men arrive. They open fire. Noah takes cover, then shoots back with a hidden shotgun. He runs through the woods, and Darhk's men go after him. Brick tracks him down, offers his gun to Noah. Noah asks about Brick's game from prison, and Green Arrow arrives, takes on Brick, which I don't really think we got an explanation how Brick got out of prison. I don't think we got that. Brick just somehow is back. I don't know how, but he is. Spartan shoots Murmur with a knockout dart, then takes on the Ghost. Noah runs to the road. Felicity pulls up, tells him to get in. He does so. Felicity drives off, and Green Arrow and Spartan retreat. So that is how Felicity gets through to Noah. Obviously, she wants Noah to work for them. Felicity tells Noah that she needs him to help save the world. She explains about how Darhk wanted Noah dead to stop him from shutting down Rubicon, and they have 12 hours to stop it. Noah goes to work immediately, says that he's not a monster, and as long as Felicity lives in the world, he needs to keep it alive. Very much like how Malcolm protects Thea, Noah protects Felicity. Even though he's a criminal, he does have good in him, and this really does show that he's not a bad guy. He is someone that's good. He is someone that's trying to do a good thing, and however, he needs more powerful computer than what Felicity has there. He needs the quantum subliminal processor that she developed at Palmer Tech. No one says that she can trust him, and Felicity returns to Palmer Tech, finds Dennis waiting with security guards. Dennis explains the guards are there to escort her out of the building, and she's fired. They actually fire her in this episode, and I understand that. I mean, she really wasn't doing anything. The board's concerned about her plans to give out the biostimulant implant. They voted to terminate Felicity when she wouldn't talk to them. Dennis refused to let her take anything with her, and it's sad because this was some of the best stuff with Felicity, and now it seems like they don't even want to do anything with her, rather than just be on, in the bunker, trying to be, the one to on the computer and everything. Now it seems like Felicity doesn't really play much of a role anymore, which really sucks because I really like what they did with Felicity, and now it seems like they don't want to do as much with her. But in Tavet Noah, Malcolm takes Thea to Alex. He's helping people register. He says that Ruve told him what is going on. Alex says it's the beginning of a new world, and Ruve has shown him that the only way is to start over. Thea tries to convince Alex he's under the influence of a drug, but Malcolm interrupts to say that Anarchy's there and has killed 5 ghosts, and he's hitting the CO2 scrubbers, suffocating them when the warheads go off. Darhk has told Malcolm about her special connection to Anarchy and needs her to help them capture him. And I just didn't really care about the Anarchy stuff. I don't know why this was here. To me, it just should have been Thea trying to convince Alex to not, ally with Malcolm, because it really seemed like she was going to make a choice here. Felicity returns to the bunker, tells Oliver what happened. Dennis shut down the old elevator, and Oliver figures that they'll need to break in and steal the processor. He gets in dressed as a delivery man. Oliver lets Felicity and Noah in. They take the elevator to Curtis's lab, and Diggles directs them around the guards. And as Felicity opens up the chamber, holding the processor, Noah talks about how he's never been a good father or husband. It's a really great scene. She discovers that, he really doesn't feel like he's been really a good father or husband because he hasn't really been there for them. And it's really good that we got this here. She discovers that Dennis has locked her out, rigs an electromagnetic wave generator to force a restart. Diggle detects guards coming, and Oliver intercepts them in the stairwell. Meanwhile, Felicity discovers that the processor is using a sublock and sets off an alarm. Now, obviously, what Felicity's doing is wrong, but she's doing it obviously to save the world, and she needs to basically break in no matter what. So Noah clones the operating code wirelessly. Diggle warns that more guards are coming. The guards enter the R&D lab just after Felicity and Noah get out. Lance picks them up at the exit and drives off. With 2 hours left, the team gets back to the bunker. Felicity confirms that Noah was only able to clone 90% of the processor. He's working to extrapolate the remaining 10%, and Felicity says that they can only upload the override code from a server farm. Malcolm then takes Thea to the house holding the primary scrubber, and inside Anarchy is holding 2 guards prisoner in the scrubber room. Thea finds and reminds Anarchy who she is, and the woman who gave Anarchy his burned face, and she offers to help Anarchy get revenge on Darhk. Now, the fact he calls her mommy is just really weird. I find that so strange. I don't know why he does that. Every time he does that, it is cringeworthy. I can't stand that, and I could not stand every time he called her mommy. I'm like, stop calling her mommy. She's not your mother. I don't know why you're calling her that. It's really annoying. But he says that there are innocent people there who don't deserve to die, and as Anarchy considers her offer, Malcolm shoots him in the shoulder, and Anarchy fires back. Thea dives for cover. Malcolm points out the explosive charge that Anarchy was going to use no matter what Thea said. He goes to work disarming the charges, and the team breaks in the server farm, and Greeno arrives to protect Noah. Diggle and Felicity go to get the equipment Noah needs. Noah says that he's not the man Felicity thinks he is, and Felicity only sees sees the criminal and figures that Green Arrow can provide some insights on leading a double life, and Green Arrow says that it doesn't work. Just as an alarm goes off, Noah says that Hive put an anti-hack fall safe in Rubicon. He's overridden it, but the tapeworm has told Hive where they are. With 19 minutes late, Felicity and Spartan arrive. Green Arrow and Spartan go to hold off Hive while Felicity works with Noah. Lila arrives outside with her Argus team, tells them to shoot to kill. Once they leave, Green Arrow and Spartan join Lila, and they go to fight Hive. So Noah says that he never stops when it comes to his Dark, continues working with Felicity, and again, he's really trying to prove that he is a good man, and I like seeing that. So Thea goes outside, finds Alex on the walk, unconscious, Anarchy's nearby, says that he's waiting for Dark to arrive. He wonders why Thea is always at the mercy of some guy, tells her she's a queen who can make her own decisions. Thea goes after him, and I did really like this scene that she's saying, look, I'm not going to let anyone tell me what to do, I'm going to make my own decisions, and it's interesting the way this is going. Brick and Murmur then arrive at the Ghost. Argus and the heroes open fire. Thea and Anarchy fight while Alex wakes up. She sees him, tells him to get away. Anarchy knocks her down, tasers Alex in the chest. Thea attacks him, grabs one of his batons, beats him unconscious, and then goes to Alex and confirms that he's still alive. And the ghosts get close enough for hand-to-hand. Green Arrow takes on Brick. Meanwhile, Murmur runs out inside, and Diggle goes after him. Felicity and Noah get the algorithm ready, working together. Now, I will say, this was a very thrilling scene, just knowing what could happen and knowing what Dark is capable of. I mean, I really was worried that this wasn't going to work, but Green Arrow finally knocks Brick out. A ghost moves up behind Spartan. Diggle shoots him. With 3 minutes left, Green Arrow warns Felicity that Murmur's inside. Noah pulls Felicity down. Green Arrow arrives and warps out Murmur, and Felicity realizes that they got every nuke except one. In Russia, a warhead launches. Felicity tracks the missile, heading straight for Monument Point. Rubicon keeps sending launch codes, and Felicity and Noah have to override manually one by one, which is why this episode is called Monument Point. Lila arrives, says that they need to evacuate Monument Point. She calls it while Felicity discovers that Rouvet has evacuated City Hall. Green Arrow realizes the Nexus chamber must be beneath City Hall, and it can absorb the power of a nuclear missile, so they head for City Hall. Noah manages to shut down the launch codes, but Felicity's unable to reroute the missile. She realigns the GPS, so the missile goes 20 miles off course to Haven Rock, and in Haven Rock, the missile hits, wipes out the area. Lila gets a message that tens of thousands die, but luckily, Monument Point would have been 2 million deaths. So they did, to an extent, save people. They did save people. They didn't save everyone, but they did save lives. And, 2 million deaths, not a whole lot of people died. Tens of thousands isn't terrible, but it's not much better than 2 million. It's really not. So, Green Arrow and Spartan search the city hall, but they find nothing. They spot a Breeze moving some papers in a secret passage nearby. The two heroes follow the tunnel and come to the Nexus chamber. Darhk is there, enveloped in magical energies, and tells Green Arrow that he'll need bigger arrows, and it really seems like that showdown is going to happen, and that's how this episode ends. So overall, guys, I wasn't a huge fan of this episode. I really wasn't. I mean, I think a lot of this episode was very underwhelming. A lot of it just didn't really do much for me. The Thea plot, I mean, I thought Anarchy was really unnecessary. I don't know really what they're trying to do with Lance at this point. It seems like they're just trying to keep him in there, but I do like where they're headed with Noah, where Noah wants to prove that he is a good father for Felicity. I feel like Henry on The Flash, Noah's going to stick around till the end of the season. I hope that happens because I think he works really well with Felicity, and I hope that these two really do solve the difference. Obviously, Felicity sees him as a hacker because that's who she's seen him as, and Noah's trying to prove to her that he's not that. She can, in fact, he can, in fact, redeem himself, and I do like seeing that because, of course, the last time we saw him, it really seemed like there really was no fixing him, and that he really was going to stay that way, and Felicity's convinced that there really is no fixing, how her father is, but I feel like he's trying to convince her that, no, he's not this way, she can redeem him, and I do like seeing that, so really good stuff with Noah and Felicity here. Thea. I really think it's setting up that Thea is going to choose her own path. She's not going to listen to what Malcolm says. She's not going to listen to what Anarchy says. She's not going to listen to what Alex says. She's going to do what she's going to do, and I'm hearing a big rumor that something really big is going to happen for Thea. Like, she's really going to divide, and I think it might be her maybe possibly working with Malcolm. I think she sees that Malcolm really does care about her and really wants her best interest, and I feel like that might be the best thing to do is for her to ally with Malcolm, because working with Oliver isn't really doing her any favors. I mean, she's constantly getting captured. She's constantly getting hunted down. Of course, she had the Mirakuru in her, and I just think it's better if she works with Malcolm. Malcolm was the one that trained her and everything. Of course, Malcolm was the one that gave her the Mirakuru and made her the way she was, made her so corrupted in the beginning of the season and everything. But I think the best thing to do would be to ally with Malcolm. I feel like that's really where we're headed. We'll see what happens with that. As far as Darhk goes, it really seems like that showdown is coming up. It seems like we're really going to figure out more what's going on with Darhk. Definitely really interesting stuff there. I like that they weren't exactly successful. Like, they were able to save some, but they weren't able to save all. I thought that was really good. At this point, the show needs to figure out what to do with Lance. Either we give him something interesting to do, or we just cut him from the show altogether, because I really don't see the point of him anymore. I mean, he's not really doing much of anything for me. I think he's just kind of on the show because they want to keep him on the show because he's a main character. And don't get me wrong, Paul, I don't know his last name, but he's doing a very good job in the show. I will definitely say that. But he's just not doing much for me now that Laurel's plot is over. Now he's accepted Laurel's death. It really just seems like he's kind of just an afterthought at this point. But what do you guys think? Love to hear your thoughts on that. Will Felicity get her job back? I don't really know. But overall, guys, really not a huge fan of this episode. Like I said, I think last week's episode was a lot better. I enjoyed it a lot more. Let me know what you guys saw this episode. Love to hear your thoughts on it. We have 2 episodes left this season, and I definitely think things are going to start heating up. I can't wait to see the way things turn out. I will see you guys in my next show, which will be for tonight's episode of The Americans, which obviously I'm so hyped for. Currently, probably my favorite show I'm watching on TV of the week, and I will see you guys for that. Okay, bye.